So how did I get started playing from the depth? Well, it's actually, don't listen to me, listen to me some time ago.
And this game was actually given to me by Super Scarab 120. And well, I've said it to you, but I say to everyone that I'm most grateful for this gift, so thank you very much again. So
now I will be extremely surprised if Super Scarab is still watching, still with us here at the channel. But if you're here, announce yourself. You deserve some kind of gift. We sort something out. If it weren't for Super Scarab giving us... Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Eric on GMODIST, and we're going to take you on a little journey today. Well, hello, enlisted in the army of GMODIST and commissioned. You're welcome back to our Bomber Challenge, The Trials, Season 1. I'm sitting here all geared up, and we are of course first going to thank the commissioned officers in the army of GMODIST for supporting the channel every month. Huge thanks to Admiral Super Dave, Captain Y, Commander Jacob, Lieutenants Asteria, C2, Cravey, Parbagrid, Talaras and Vincent Veritas. You help a lot. And also thanks to all of our cadets. You were not forgotten. We're going to begin to test the bombers against sea targets. And the first we're going to do this with is to test a single bomber against a single sea target. Now I have walked through the different types of crafts that can appear in the campaign, and I've come to the conclusion that the best test subject for this is the Onyx Watch's Claymore. So we will begin to conduct the tests. The Claymore is a good target because it's pretty meaty and still it doesn't have very good armor, but it has a lot of health, and using bombs it should be the best way to tackle this type of craft. So this is an optimal condition for bombers. Now this craft can't really shoot back, so it won't really test the bomber's survivability. But if the bombers on the other hand get hit by big crams like this from a craft with somewhat poor tracking, well, maybe that's just unlucky, or maybe it's a very invasive bomber. Now I have a grading chart, which is kind of a secret. I will not share with you the grades that each of the crafts get during the tests. So basically I have adjusted some points dependent on the cost of the ships, or the, not ships, we have some airships, but the bombers themselves. So more expensive designs have gotten a 0, too expensive designs have gotten minus points, and cheap designs have gotten plus points. This is because in some scenarios the ships are tested one by one versus one target, and not in cost. Later on we will provide a group test. But basically the cost of the ship, it's of course good if a cheaper bomber can perform as well as a more expensive bomber, and it deserves plus points for that. So that is why. But again, the grading I will not share with you from the get-go, but you will see it in the end. So you can make your own assumptions, but I don't want you to be able to calculate which crafts are most likely to win based on my scoring in the videos. And we will see if all of the bombers will be tested in one single episode, or if we have to divide them in 2 episodes, because there are a lot of them after all. Thanks for all the submissions. Well, your Lord High Admiral will now get back into the game. 2,000 meters away, a Claymore has spawned. And first out is Adnecreas, which actually has a too expensive craft. So it apparently begins circling the enemy. And what is going on here? Oh, wow. That's something. That's unexpected. We'll conduct the tests again. That was a little bit too quick. We didn't see what even happened there. We're gonna lock on to the Claymore instead. And we have some very penetrating capabilities. I think it had a lucky shot and took out, or it kills the target using EMP. So can be smart to wield some EMP. Oh yes, there we go. That's some easy kills right there. Very good performance from Adnecreas submission. And this is the order we will go through. We have Adnecreas, the secret advisor / Kovrax. We have Jonos first, second, kinda sexy. And then we have Light of the World, Netrameira, Nildens 3, Ovo. We have Pizza Summoner. We have Rush. We got Sean Reed's 4, Shotguns 1, Scooby-Mations 2, Straight American Imperialists 1, The Cringes 2, and Captain, AOG Captain Wise, bomber plane last year. So this is the order we will follow all of these challenges with, which means that next up is the highly anticipated Manta War from the Secret Advisor / Kovrax. It has a beautiful standby mood, so with no target, it is tucked away in storage right now. So if an enemy would stealthily appear 2000 meters away, we'll see how it reacts. I kinda didn't notice, but it actually has an ish cockpit here too. That's pretty cool. In any case, let us start. Right, it rises. Locks on the diffs. And we're firing away. That looks like some pretty huge damage. It's trying to shoot back, but oh wow, that's serious damage. It's not quite dead, but it basically is pretty dead. Look at that. And it even is doing its evasive maneuvers in order to not get hit. Very smart, very intelligent. It goes back for another reload. It has 5 shots per gun in total. Alright. And it's getting close. Wow, it's just moving so organically. That's so cool. We're gonna slow down time right here. Look at these shells. They're just saying AOG, Invictus, all of them. Slow down again. Okay. It's a small target. Bam. That is some serious damage. I believe it. I'm surprised if it's still alive. It kind of is. Interesting. It's basically dead. It comes in for another swoop. Look at it go. Looking pretty amazing. And we're for another volley. Oh, wow. Completely annihilated. Alright. Let's try that again. Alright. We look at it go again. We're gonna sit in here. It's starting to burn with anger. And it fires 2 volleys right there. Alright, that's some big damage. It really takes out huge chunks of health there. it has splendid performance against dealing damage. It's almost, however, like its damage is meant for bigger ships. So this thing, out of luck or something else, doesn't get completely destroyed. Here it comes again. Wow, this looks so effectful. That's pretty cool. Okay. And it's deleted. Well, that's some very good performance. Here we have the next submission. This is Jono's second submission, which is of course the Isanth. Is it 5? Yes, the Isanth 5. I was thinking, was it 4 or 5? The Isanth 5 from StarMade. So yeah, probably need to check in what's happening with StarMade soon. But it stands here and casually hovers, so let's spawn an enemy for it. And there we go. It's the Claymore. It fired a volley and missed. Coming in here. Just hovering in the sky. Does it have a rail? It's so still, it's probably lucky it didn't get hit there. Alright. Can we get some... It's chilling. Oh no! Ooh, that was just pure luck, I think. It's not shooting very often, is it? Like, sooner or later, these crams are bound to hit if it doesn't have... Maybe it has some type of... Yes, it's moving from side to side, isn't it? I think it has evasion. Well, that's good at least. Well, it comes with another volley there. Not dealing a lot of damage, is it? Coming another little volley. Well, now it got some damage dealt, it felt like. Mostly against the crams. It looks like this is gonna take a while. Next volley is coming. Well, more crams. Cram blocks. Oh! Damn! It actually got hit. Well, since we're not really measuring the survivability, we're repairing it with the bot right now, it seems like, but... Okay. I don't know if it has evasion or if it just goes from side to side. But that's the cockpit. Wow, okay. Trying to fire another volley. How much health is it? Is it 90%? Oh, it just lacks firepower. It lacks firepower. Yeah. Let's try again here and see if we can get some better hits from the start. It seems it misses its first volley. It seems to be some... Was that armor piercing and high explosive? Alright. The Claymore is lining up here. I was very surprised with Adnekria's bomber's ability to just kill the AI super quickly and efficient, which is a valid tactic against many targets indeed. So it's that was some really good setup. Now we could see it got hit again. It's so still it gets hit by crams, which isn't great. You can see here it fires another volley, but I don't think the Isanth 5 will be able to take out the target in a reasonable amount of time. So we will probably move on to the next target, Jono's real submission, because I do believe we've seen enough of its performance in this particular setting. Now it should be said that the Sans 5 as a submission was mostly submitted because it's funny, because it's from StarMade, and it's kind of blocky, and it's kind of a meme ship. But nevertheless, let's move on. This is Jono's real submission, the AOG Bomber. And it's sitting here and being stored, not burning many materials at all. So, what then happens if the Claymore does appear 2,000 meters away? We shall see. From within the cockpit. Maybe not. Alright. It's coming above here. It's closing in. It's doing a bomber dive. And bam! There we got a good cram hit. That's a good cram hit, man. Wow. The Claymore can't maneuver anymore. Well, that's great. That's some good damage. And the turret is still facing towards the enemy, so it can still deal damage. Can deliver those cram bombs pretty reliably. It's trying to shoot back with crams. Ooh. That was pretty close. Yeah, well, cram shells are so unlikely to hit that we really, like, the Claymore is not a threat against bombers, let's be real about that. So yes, it shoots back with crams, but you know, it's not much judged for getting hit by those, even though it's not good. They're more judged with the ability to deal damage here. We're lining up again, getting in for a good cram shot, keeping steady. Whoa. And there we can see. Oh, wow. That's a pretty good hit, I believe. Oh yes, it's even flying up into the air a little bit there. Was that AI parts? No? It was parts of AI parts. But it wasn't the AI parts itself. So we're like watching a tiny cram battle right now. Let's see how Jono's first submission will do. This one has had a beautiful little text on it too, which is now removed. I do believe it accidentally got hit by a cram there. Does it fall down? No, it's still online. But it's really keeping its distance. It's playing safe, that's for sure. Oh no, we got another cram volley. Oh no, it got hit. It got hit by a cram broadside. Ooh, no, and the turret is kind of sad, and it started to burn as well, and the cram is only firing blanks now. Cool effect though. Oh man. Yeah, this doesn't look too good. It's really funny, it has burning effect. When damaged, I suppose. Well, that's just great. This little thing here is apparently a little detection unit. Alright. Has the cram cannon repaired enough, I wonder? It goes down for a sweep. No. Apparently not. I think we'll need to restart this battle here a little bit. It got damaged. Here we go. Same enemy, same setup. It's climbing. Do we have high speeds? 70 meters per second. Not particularly fast, not particularly slow. Going down and bam. Deal some pretty decent damage with the cram here. That's a big hole. It can easily take out this this craft with one shot if it just gets the first shot right, I believe. Well, it's playing really safe. It's going far away to make sure the cram is reloaded. On the other hand, it's not a diff ship, so it can deal this type of damage all day, which is nice. Alright, it goes down for a swoop. Oh no, ooh. Why? Did it deflect? Wow, that's a good hit. That's some cram parts right there. Okay, it hollowed out this thing. That is pretty impressive indeed. Very, 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 very accurately delivered damage. Now, it didn't have any clue that there was like nothing important there, but on the other hand, it really couldn't. But it's not able to evade the cram shells. And again, we're not testing evasion this time. I think we're just gonna quickly repair it a little bit. But that can certainly be, well, it ain't superb. Okay, let's see what we're doing here for another swoop. We care mostly about the damage delivery here. There we go. Can we get some slow motion there? Come on. That is a well-aimed... That's a very well-aimed shell. Wow. Okay, that's... It deals good damage. It deals good damage, that's for sure. And now this thing tries to shoot back, as always. It's like playing very safe. It goes very far away to deliver another round. And when we test it against the lighter anti-air weapons, I do think it's going to benefit a lot from that. So that will be interesting to see. Now let's see. Oh, damn. Oh no. Oh no. Oh wow, okay. Yes. It has a bit of a weakness against crams. That's something we have to take into account. But its cram is dealing good damage, it really is. I think it's mostly, like you can see, it penetrates very deeply. So it's mostly luck that decides it doesn't crit the enemy at once. Now I believe this is at 73%, so it still gets pretty damage. That's for sure. It's just that it flies so stably that the crams have a little bit of a too easy day. I wonder why it flies in this angle too. That's something that is a mystery to me. It has anti-missile missiles, but it seems to not utilize them when the crams are incoming. Maybe they're only set up to target other missiles, that's possible too. Alright. There we go. Well, it took out a big chunk of this target too. Again. I'm thinking on what grading I should give this and its combat performance, because it's dealing good damage, it's dealing efficient damage, but it's doing it a little bit too slow. So yeah, But I think I'll know what to put on this, the next blast. I think it will take this one out. We're popping in here again. See if the last blast really should take it out by the last blast here. Going down and bam. Dealing some damage. 60%. Is that AI parts? Probably not. Little slow. Anyways, let's move on. Next up, we have this beautiful thing from Kinda Sexy. Or Eldosh Koshkosh. And this thing is a beautiful little plane snoozing around here waiting for a target, which we should give it. Which is, of course, the Claymore. Now, I don't remember... No, it doesn't. It's only an AI craft. I just checked if it had some kind of cockpit-y thing or not. Alright. This thing gotta be pretty quick, right? No. Top speed is 55 meters per second. That is surprising. Cram shells incoming. Very hard to hit something so small with crams. Oh! There we go. Popping in bombs there. Bam! They fire all at once. Well, that's more of them. They are indeed laser targeters. Whoa. Wrong thing to lock on. It locks me on the wrong things all the time. Well. Another volley of these missiles popping in here. Bam. That's some damage. Interesting indeed. Did that look like clusters? I don't think you'll hit... Oh, are you kidding me? Are you a little bit more accurate than I anticipated? Okay, we'll need to emergency repair this friend here. Okay. Are you regaining your senses here? Alright. Make sure you're ready for fighting. Okay, it goes down for another swoop. What? Are you kidding me? It bounced. So this thing is pretty slow. That's probably one issue, right? Right, what do we have here? They come in a bunch. Man, that's a lot of them. Bam. And they got blasted away from the first. I think they probably would have done better having frag or possibly having a delay. Okay, I thought it was cluster first. But it's not, it's just they get blasted away there. And then they come for a return blast. Well, very few of the missiles actually miss, so it seems to be a decent way enough to deliver some damage, that's for sure. %. Well, it seems it's dealing some pretty damage, but it's just not... And these are circling around here. They're just missing the mark there. So it seems that Kinda Sexy's design is having some firepower issues. No, that's just lucky that the crams are deflected. Or we got a shield somewhere. I don't think we got the shield here, but if we do. Locking on and bam. It's looking pretty cool, that it does. Kinda Sexy's design does deliver damage, but the blast makes them go away and they come from different angles. And they do deal damage, but the damage is so light that it seems to be mostly superficial explosives. I think that the damage dealing capabilities of this plane is a little bit on the lower side, right? Right, we spawned them again just to make a recheck here. But as said in the request for bombers, one of the most important metrics are to efficiently deal damage. And I do believe we are having some issues on this department here. As we can see, it has secondary props, that's good. But I would expect that this type of damage would work better against something like the deep water guard. You can see it's kind of superficial. Well, it does deliver the damage, and that's something. Well, I think we've seen enough to judge this craft's damage dealing capabilities of a single sea target. Next out, we have Light of the Worlds Star Drop. So we're going to spawn in the enemy, and we're gonna see what types of damage we're dealing against it. So we have a pretty thick design going on there. So what happens if 2000 meters away a claymore appears? Well, we're having targets. We have a flare just to make sure we're not getting hit. Another one. And we're starting to drop bombs. And there we go. We did some pack damage right there. Well, that's some Pierce pack. Packing a real punch, if you know what I mean. No, that's impact pack. I already know that. Oh, wow! Do we have some EMP damage there? That got deleted. Wow, what a performance. We're going again. Using flares. Oh. Ooh, that's that's so lucky. Okay. And let's see here. I don't see because of the smoke. I do believe we did a pack hit to the side there. Now let's see here. Did we drop a missile? I think we already did that. But where is it? There it is. We're having an EMP missile. Okay, we can go up in. And bam! Oh. Did it die? No, it didn't. So you have to have some luck and EMP. The crams are popping in there, but no hit. It's having a somewhat irregular fly pattern too. Taking some light fire. I don't think anything important fell off. Bam! Here we did some real damage. And we got some EMP there too. Interesting. Oh, where is it? It's going in for another attack. Facing upwards. Okay. And there we go. Wow. And with some EMP too. No, not dead yet. I think the first time around was some really lucky blasts. Alright. Now it's coming here again. We're gonna slow down time. You wanna see this? Bam! That is some impact pack. That's a really cool way of crushing sea targets, I must say. It really is. Alright, where is it? Oh, there it is. It's diving low and coming for another attack run. Alright. Bam! That is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool with a pack bomber like this, I think. I never seen one before. It seems the light of the world took a dive into the sea for some reason there. Well, it's also playing pretty safe. Bam. Blasting with some more packs there. Well, it's dealing some decent damage. I think I know what to grade this. I've seen enough to indeed know. So, let's move on. Next out, we have Netrameira's hummingbird, which is an ornithopter. It's tucked away there safely for storage. So what happens if a claymore appears into the distance? Alright. Dealing some light missile damage. I think we'll need to slow down time for this, man. Oh my god. Here we see. The damage is coming in. Whoa, that's some diff rods. Oh, darn. Yeah, that's some hash. That's some hash for you. Damn. That's some EMP damage too. If it's lucky, it can... Oh yes, it was indeed. Wow, that's super performance. Let's check that again. Alright, here we go. Missiles are softening up the target. And the best way to survive is of course deal the maximum amount of damage as soon as possible. There we go. Bam. That's some pretty decent damage. And it's quick too. I don't think these crams have a chance of even disturbing our combat testings here. Top speed is almost 100. Look at that. Here we go. Not reloaded quite yet. But it's almost dead, so that's something. Oh, there we go. Bam. That's some damage. 67%. Yes. Here we are indeed dealing very decent damage. Look at it fly too. Doesn't it look absolutely stunning? Amazing. Some VLMs to help with constant damage. Is it this? No. I think it's just chilling for another round. It's popping in for another run. Look at that. Does look pretty stunning. VLMs did their part, and I think we're here to finish the job. Oh yes. There we go. Very impressive performance. That was really something. Awesome to see the first bombers in action. I believe, however, that we will not have time to try more of the bombers today. So there is a lot of them, and I had hoped that maybe I would have been happy if, like, ish 5 people would have submitted bombers to the challenge. But the total amount of submission with several multi-submission is like 24, something like that. 24 it is, I believe. So that is very cool. That's very great. But it also means we have more episodes. I'll need to part up them into different episodes because I just can't record all of 25 of them at the same time. I thought I would be able to, but I'm also a little bit of a time optimist. So that doesn't happen, It's just too much. I think if I go through all of the bombers through this test in one single go, I think that the video will be around 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, something like that. So this is your Admiral GMODISM, the army of GMODISM, who you're of course submitting your bombers to. And if maybe you're watching this and maybe you're wondering how to join the army of GMODISM, well, go into the Discord, go into the role assignment area, and assign yourself Matros 3rd class, and you're in the army of GMODISM. You can also become a commissioned officers like them over there. That's also possible. In any case, huge thanks for watching this little first combat performance of the bombers. I think I have gotten a little bit delayed of doing them because I was thinking to do them a little bit more complexly than we have to do. So I hope that you have enjoyed this test and that this is good enough, hopefully. I don't know how I else would have done them, but in any case, thanks a lot for watching. This is your host, GMODISM, and we're signing out with our motto, AOG Invictus. Well, hello and welcome to GMODISM. This is your Lord High Admiral, and we shall continue with the bomber trials. Enlisted and commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM and other personnel. Let's give some huge thanks to our continuing supporters: Admiral Super Dave, Captain Y, Commander Jacob, Lieutenant Asteria, C2, Cravey, Powered by Greed, Taylor Russ, and Vincent Veritas for supporting us every month as a commissioned officer. We will now continue with the bomber trials with naval targets, because of course we have 24 submissions and we couldn't get through all of them in one simple episode testing them against the Onyx Watch Claymore. We are listening to Towards the Battle by Vesrets, which is our Army of GMODISM composer, as you probably already know. Beautiful song. Well, shall we get into battle? I think so. Alright, this video will totally start off as a one-person show. So Matros Neil then sent in 3 submissions, which will be going and testing the first in this particular little battle thing. This is the second submission, which is first out, and it's of course called the Invader. So let's get a Claymore in here. Alright, let's go. It has the cool 3D logo too. Alright. What will it do? This thing is actually a pack craft. Oh lords. I think we need to do a quick repair. Alright. It tries to stay above it. It has shields too. Interesting. Oh. It did an explosive pack damage. Very interesting. So its course of action seems to be staying above the target and dealing out some pack damage. But it fired its sequence of them. I don't know if it has accuracy issues. This is a slow target. Let's see if it can catch up. It's doing something. Look at that. It fired several rounds. It has optimal ability to deal damage, but it doesn't deal the damage type explosive, this type of fast firing pack, even though it's some very thin armor at the top here, it just doesn't get through. The damage it's dealing, it's been here for a while and it's taking off like some percentages. We're not switching pack type either. I think switching between the different types for pack is a great method, but it's not quite doing that. Let's try and respawn them and see if we get some other results. Alright, there we are. We're moving forwards towards the enemy. Oh lord, here comes some crams. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Lucky! Alright. We're closing in and we can stay above target. Alright. And now what? Alright, yes. In a real scenario with AA guns and stuff like that, I believe it's quite vulnerable just staying on top like this. Especially if we have several of them. That's something we will check a little bit later too, thanks to Captain Y. We need to check so that they won't collide with each other, but that will be very apparent in the group testing and it will be a point of metric. So I do wonder how these will survive during that type of metric. Well, we can already see that it has trouble reaching the target and the damage it deals is kind of limited to an armored target like this. So we have seen enough from the invader. I think a slower Pierce pack, by the way, would have been so much more effective against most type of targets. Next out, we have Nilden's third submission. This is the Penguin. So let's check out the Penguin. It has a cockpit, by the way, which is kind of cool. Did I mention it looks like a penguin? There we go. Claymore has entered the scene. Penguin is popping in. And it drops bombs. Alright. I do believe they have magnets. Look at that cute little thing. They look like tiny nukes. And there are many of them. They're popping in there. Yes, we're having some proper bomber action here. They come from all over the place. Magnetizing and damn. Yes. My ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed a bomber. Got a little unlucky cram hit there, but again, we are not judging the taking of damage in this particular challenge, in this particular sub part. Dies pretty low and spits out a couple of bombs there. Well, it's a true carpet bomber. It feels like a true carpet bomber. And I do believe it has some pretty cool results. And the bombs look pretty cool too. There are some custom parts. Look at that. Look at that. And they pop in here. Now the penguin got a little unlucky hit, so we're just repairing it there a little bit. We can see the claymore is already down to 8%. I think this can be quite effective against a larger wooden target, say the crossbones or something. It's almost like it knew which direction the claymore is traveling, because it bombed kind of in front of it before it turned. Look at that. Next batch popping in there. I think it probably can do this all day, just spitting out these explosive bombs and providing a lot of damage. Look at that beautiful carpet. Pretty nice. We're of course against an armor target, so it takes a couple of bombs to get through the hull, but I do think it's a very decent bomber in terms of bombing. It is indeed providing some pretty good bombing results. It's a little bit slow with dealing damage than we could have hoped for. I think that perhaps having a small mix of frag, or, well, against this target in particularly, but of course people were not told what targets they would meet, because that would make them able to counter that specific target. But for this particular craft, EMP would have been a great choice. But frag works a little bit better against armor in most cases, while explosives deals the most amount of damage against wood. So I think this type of bomber would absolutely shred a deep water guard build. But against an armor target like this, a mix of frag in those bombs would probably have been beneficial. But I think we are going to spawn it again, check again how it goes. Ooh, it has some... Look at that. It has some balloons too, to make it not fall into the water. That's good. In any case, we're gonna restart this and see the results a little bit more. Penguin, here we go. I bet this thing is not the easiest to hit. No? Alright, we're coming in for another one. No? I restarted it. Turns out I was holding on to the weapon controls. Look at that. Amazing. Trying to knock us out with some 64-pounders, I see. Well, not today, mate. And we're pretty darn quick at reloading too. I like this. Yeah, this is a good way of dealing bomber damage. Having them small like this can make them load quick, and that will also cost less ammunition. So that's one good thing with having proper bombs and not bomb missiles. That is, you can provide a lot more payload, maybe 2 or 3 times as much as you could have with missiles, just because you are only delivering payload and you're not having anything to do with fuel, fins, thrusters and all that. Well, I think I've seen enough to know how to grade a penguin, so I'm gonna write up the score. Look at that. More bombs popping in here. Nice. Next out, we have Nilden's first submission. Yes, it's still the same Matros. And this beautiful thing has a bomb cam. So I'm looking forward to see this thing in action. And indeed, here we have it. So let us get the claymore here. Alright, here we go. Ooh, we have some lights there too, that's cool. I just have to check this out. Look at that. Look at that. Oh! That was just so cool, seeing that on the display instead. Alright. Alright, that's cool. Look at these bombs here. They look so nice. They look so cool. So here we have missiles instead. It can be a more reliable way to deal the damage towards the targets. Let's see if it's more effective than the Penguin, because I do believe in this case we have slower dealing of damage due to we have parts. But it depends also what type of damage it is. It looks like it's able to put the damage where it's most needed. So I do believe we can check out this thing a little bit here. We have explosive again. So I believe some APN guidance helps with dealing more damage. I see, and there we have the bomber cam on a spin block. Let's see if we can see some more bomb cam action here. I think maybe we're a little bit too close for that. Or no, look at that. It's pretty likely to actually show the action indeed. The bomb cam works pretty well. Well, Matros Nilden is really giving a show here with this particular bomber. They're diving down. And since we're getting so close, I do believe these missiles don't need to get very near to deal a lot of damage. So that's very interesting indeed. You can see that this ship is again heavily damaged. It has the same kind of issue like the Penguin, that when we're dealing against armor targets, the damage type explosive will deal a little less damage, but in this case they were coming from on top. So I think that perhaps the payload itself might be slightly less, just better delivered. And there we see the Claymore got absolutely taken out. Very nice. We have spawned the target again, just to make sure that our damage dealt was the damage intended. Alright, I think the Claymore is coming in here. Yeah, there we go. And haha, so cool. So cool with the bomber cam there. Yep, here we go. Come diving down, and oh yes. Very nice indeed. A couple of bombing rounds more. It basically circles above here, which is good to keep out of the way of those crams. And it constantly provides some bomber action feed. And shredding some blocks down there. I've seen enough to know how to grade this accurately. So, Nilden, I hope you enjoyed your one-person show for a while, but now we will be moving on to Ovo's design. Here we have the White Phosphorus Bomber by Ovo. And this is a design that looks absolutely amazing, and a lot of you have graded it as one of the best looking ones in this tournament. With some really sleek, modern, fightery designs without being too much decorations. It's still very sleek. The main design of the ship itself does give it the super cool shape, and we have some help with some, I believe there are some small wings on spin blocks with a tiny bit of spin clipping, which was allowed by me for this, absolutely. Spin clipping is generally not something that we do allow, but when it is for aesthetical reasons on small designs, oh, that's another story. So it looks absolutely amazing. We're gonna check it out here, and if you were wondering, we did a little poll thing. The commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM have had their say on the designs they think look the best. Then all of the enlisted in the army of GMODISM has also had their say. And I have taken these points and mixed them together and put them at the points for a future little... I took the points in regards for a future little episode, so we'll check that. But anyways, now Ovos, Phosphorus Bomber, will deal with the Claymore. Bam! That's some quick... What even happened with those guns? It was like instant teleportation. We're diving down. Oh, we're aborting. This thing is quick. 146 meters per second. What? And here we have... Oh, those bombs missed. Right, let's see here what types of damage come in. It goes down and dives in real quickly, so I do believe this will probably survive the testings against... Oh, not sure what that missile we're doing there. We're diving real close, but we're not dealing damage here. I wonder what's happening here. Oh, it dropped the missile. Oh, but it's not able to see the target or something. Alright, do we have a diff gun dealing explosive damage? I think that type of explosive damage will have a hard time at dealing much damage to this target. I think a high explosive diff rod would mostly make sense. Oh yes, it's also seemed to be proximity fused, so it has a very low likability to deal damage. Let's restart this battle and see if anything else happens. Alright, it seems to be firing its missiles directly to see an enemy, so we're gonna give it better opportunities by spawning it with a direction towards the enemy, because it is a quick mover. It moves in circles, okay. Let's see what these missiles, which are looking pretty cool by the way. They seem to not be able to see the target. I do start to think that these are unguided dumb missiles. Alright. And they went down to the water. Well, the Phosphorus Bomber might be one of the best looking designs we have in the arsenal, but it unfortunately seems to have a hard time dealing damage. Oh, we got a hit. So it does deal damage, which is good, but it seems to deal explosive damage with diff rods only, and these have a really hard time scratching the surface of this ship. I do believe that the Phosphorus Bomber will win this battle due to not getting hit by those crams ever, but I do believe it will take like half an hour at least. So I do think I've seen enough to see what points we should give it for this particular challenge. Next up, we will have Pizza Summoner's Stardalk AS Stardalk, which has some awesome rotating gear things going on here for the engine parts. It's looking very advanced, and it's equipped with crams. We also have one of the absolutely uber cool cockpits here. So we're gonna see this in action right now. Alright, here we go. The Claymore is spawned. Oh, are you kidding me? It has it has target lock thing. I don't even know how that works. That's quite cool. I know how to do stuff like that in like another game, StarMade, but I have no idea how to do this type of holographic target no target thing. Yeah, Absolutely no idea. Yeah, this target locked / acquired thing, I think this is a really cool little feature. Really gives some super cool vibes to this vessel. All right. Oh, look at that. Target is locked. Gotta see this. Oh, yes, that's something. Oh, it dives down really deep. Look at the damage we're dealing here. This did not take long. This is probably some armor piercing explosive. So if you only have explosive, well, then your damage is stopping on the outside of the armor thing. But if you have armor piercing explosive, you can deal the damage inside, which is just the difference is the world. Look at that. It's trying to fight back with some crams. Ooh, but it goes down there. Oh, it got frag too. It has frag too. Look at that. Quite efficient. Right, we're coming in for another, I believe. I think so. Yeah, we're diving. Target locked. There we go. Well, when we're like in it, we can like feel the recoil of the crams. It's pretty cool. And we got some nice little colored panels there. Really convey some awesome Army of GMODISM type design, which is very cool. I think I finally, after playing this game for many years, developed some kind of style that's recognizable enough that one can convey it with some colors and some gold, which makes me happy. I was so confused what colors to have for a long while. Then I just decided on some colors, like, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago. Who knows? Alright. And they're really quick crams too. Yeah. That's some proper damage. Well, I do believe we've seen what type of damage it deals, but we're of course gonna run the battle once more just to make sure we got the same results. Alright, here we go. We're locking on. Damn, and we just feel the recoil. I think that's very cool. That we just can feel the recoil in that way. And we can see if it aims at a lucky spot, I do believe that this can one-shot. Yeah, it's a very strong bomber using crams, but not in the way I expected. I must say I really like the way that you can sit in the cockpit and that it has some target acquired thing, and when they fire you just feel those recoils in there so darn strongly, and that's just gives it a very cool type of feeling. Yeah, this I believe it has extra style points for being cool later on, but right now we're measuring combat performance, and I do think I've seen enough to be able to grade this thing as firepower accurately. Next up, we have the Butterfly Wasp from Rush. There we go. The autocannons are autocannoning. We're waiting for a lock-on by the laser. They seem to be laser-guided missiles. We got a lock-on. Oh, nice little escape there. I think we dropped some kind of buoy. We did indeed. So I do believe this is probably a sonar buoy. A sonar buoy. Too much light. 1 second. There we go. We're using recommended values instead. It seems to have been shedding some blocks indeed. Here we come again. Autocannons enabled. Missiles are locked. What are the chances? Wow, okay. We're really drilling holes there with the armaments. Oh no. I think I never zoomed in on what the regular ammo shells look like. So I thought it would be a little bit funny. Alright. They're so tiny, you know. Well, it goes away to reload its missiles. There is quite a lot of them. And until there is target. And then they immediately launch from close range towards the target and it goes away. Also launches that buoy, however you pronounce it, and is able to check out that. Okay. Very interesting indeed. Looks like a pretty strong attack diver bomber with some missiles popping in there. And I think we're dealing some good damage. We got some frags and some explosives mixed in there. Seems to be quite efficient. I think I know what type of damage it deals now, but we're going to run it again, just because that's what we do. There we go. It climbs a little bit to get at the altitude it wants to get at. Alright. We're locking on, missiles incoming, going straight for the front there, and running away. Look at that, some pretty nice holes there. Here we come again. Not a good day for a particular claymore, I believe, but I don't think any of our test days. Any of their meetings, or what should we say, any of the encounters with the army of GMODIST is not a good day for any other faction, naturally. That is not an ally. So, yes, I do believe exactly where I will grade this in relation to the other ones, so I'll write it up and we're gonna move on. Next up, we have Sean Reed's first submission. And Sean Reed submitted 4 submissions. In any case, this is the Daggery first submission. We're gonna unpause it and it sits there and chills when not in action. Did I accidentally... Well... It seems that we need to restart this battle. But it's interesting to see it in action. I accidentally spawned this thing. We're gonna remove that. I don't know what happened, so okay. I think we're good to go. We targeted the right enemy here. Oh, we got the blast guns popping in there. Here we have some... What is this? This is magnet mines, right? Moving towards. You can see, oh yes, the magnets have activated and we pop in here, bam. Oh well, they pack some good punch, I must say. I wonder if we accidentally got hit here. So we need to repair everything. I'm not sure if it got into the water because it was damaged or or what happened there. Well, interesting. Let's restart this battle here. Alright, here we go. Abroad the Daggery. We have some diff guns, right? Yeah, we fired something there. Dropping the bombs. This looks like large missiles. Oh yes, that's why they're packing a punch. I thought there were medium ones, but they are large indeed. So they they can pack a punch there. So yeah, we got some proper bombs coming in here and getting activated, and oh yes, look at that. They're actually putting some big holes in there. I don't remember what type of ammunition we have for those guns there. We're gonna keep an eye on it so it doesn't get damaged. Because, oh, we're having blast guns trying to fire around there too. Wait. It didn't get hit, did it? I start to wonder if the revolving blast guns damage this target itself. Because that's a big issue. That will affect the score here, because of course you can see it aims downwards there. It won't fire, will it? Because it really looked like it fired. If it fires and shoots out its own AI parts, this is of course an issue with the dealing of damage. Dealing damage is very important, and we won't look at the aspects of it getting damaged itself from other crafts, but where if it indeed deals damage and disables itself, that's a whole other story. Because if it does that, oh yeah, do you see that? All right, it seems it's shot through itself, and while the blast guns provide some, it seems to have trouble aiming now. Well, the bombs are pretty strong. It is obviously, the dagger is obviously dealing damage, but it really seems to damage itself, and that's a huge issue. That's like, yeah, because I saw it shoot out some AI parts itself before, and it seemed to did it again, and then it crashed. So that's an issue. Well, that's why it's important to check several times here. It doesn't do it always, it does it sometimes. But, well, I do think I know now about how much damage it can deal. And its issues that would amount to a reasonable score here for dealing damage against this naval target. So I will write that down, and yes, we're coming in here. We'll just want to see if it drops. The claymore looks really sad now, and now you see. Here we go. There we see parts. Its own parts. It's actually shot out there. Alright, well, good to know. Good to know. We're listening to The Walls of the Builder by our own Army of GMODISM composer. I think this will be enough for this time, so I do hope you have enjoyed this bomber trials. We will be checking out some of the other bombers in the later episodes. We have a lot of them. So, the different testing sessions will of course be more episodes. We're having a third episode of Sea Targets to cover them all, possibly 4, it depends a little bit on how long time the others take there. But that said, I hope you enjoyed it, and this is your Lord High Admiral GMODISM, and I'm signing out to all of my enlisted and commissioned officers. Thanks a lot for all the submissions, and it's been a pleasure to test all of your designs. In any case, this is your host signing out, if you're not enlisted yet. If you want to do that, you should probably search on how to get into the Army of GMODISM. It's very easy. In any case, see you next time. Well, hello and welcome back to GMODIST. It's your Admiral GMODIST. We're here from the army of GMODIST to continue to conduct the Bomber Challenge. We have some runner-ups. Next up will be Sean Reed's 4th submission. But before that, I will just give a huge thank to all of you in the army of GMODIST who have joined here, the lower ranks and submitted vehicles. And of course also to our commissioned officers who are supporting the channel every month. Huge thanks to all of you cadets, but you'll know the tiers we only name from lieutenants. So I will now name all the members of the commissioned officers. Super thanks to Super Dave, Admiral Super Dave, Captain Y, Commander Jacob, Lieutenants Asteria C2 Cravey, powered by Greed, Tyler Russ and Vincent Veritas. Thanks a lot, and we will be getting into the Bomber Challenge itself. As you can see here, we have a lot of contestants. We have moved down to this, Sean Reed's 4th submission, the FB Sunspot, which will be the next one we'll try out in this little challenge. So let's go. We have this little nice bomb biplane design with missiles and stuff, and it just chills here in the water surface. It seems that its mode of idling is just sitting in the water, so that's from the position, that's the position from where it will indeed start. So we're going to spawn in our Claymore and see what happens. It easily gets out of the water, very beautiful, nice cost saving, or what is it? Saving a lot of materials per minute. We're firing a missiles and we're moving away. Okay, we're diving down now again. No, it changed its mind. I don't think those crams have any chance to hit it. We're diving down for another loop. And, oh, blast cans activated. Interesting. Don't know if that did much damage or not, but we seem to have scratched the surface of the Claymore indeed. While we are mostly judging the ability to take out the target in this little challenge here, we can clearly see that it's very evasive against those crams. I do not think it's very likely to get hit, no. It's very maneuverable, has some really nice moves in the air here. It seems to have very good air handling. Oh, that was an unlucky. Alright. I guess we're just doing like this. There we go. There you go, buddy. Alright. It just gives a little shower of with those blast guns there. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's just, you know, that's just some bad luck. Okay, coming down for another blast. Missiles, some of them miss, some of them hit. I think we have a nice, very stripy little propeller here, don't you think? Alright. Ew, look at that. These landing pads are actually foldable, folds in and folds out when it's and that's because it's needs to be able to stand on the land in standby. That makes a lot of sense. As we can see, it's dealing some damage. It is taking it out bit by bit. It seems to have a pretty decent damage dealing capability. Those blast guns are not a joke. They actually do some good damage. Now it goes a little close to the target, which is a tiny bit dangerous, but it hasn't crashed yet, so that's something. Oh, another little shower there. I think they have a good chance of actually dealing good damage to a larger potential targets. Well, I think we're gonna respawn this battle here just to see if we get the same or different results. There we go again. Battle is restarted. It's idling here a little bit, chilling around. And we have a target. Alright, flying straight towards the claymore. Steady course. Climbing altitude. Missiles are going away. We're going down for a closer. And we did not decide to shoot the blast guns this time. I wonder if this laser targeter sees. I guess it does, but it's very crammed in there. Probably works nice. There we go, blast guns going on there. Actually, we can probably see here too. Tracking. Yeah, it can see through here. But some of the time it doesn't see through very well. Just wanna see here if it actually gets it into view when targeting. I think it has other detection too, of course it has, because this is only a laser targeter. Seems that this laser targeter a lot of the time does not see, and I do suspect that's because the propeller blade is right in front of it too. So it has very rare chances when it actually has visibility. There we go. Aerodynamic missile heads there. There we go. Whoa. It goes real close, and I think that can be a great strategy a lot of the time. This time, when we are facing an equally sized target, it seems to be a little bit difficult to deal a lot of the damage, since some of the missiles hit and some miss, and the blast guns do work better at an area. But all in all, I think it seems to be providing some decent damage here. So I think I'll know how to grade this thing. So pretty cool. We shall now be moving on to the next battle, or the next bomber that you have submitted, which is W, because it's triple U, because it's you in terms of it's you, Sean Reeds. It's your second submission that's popping in next, and it's also the second submission, I said. So yeah, let's get and see that. Popping in here, we have the Jin. It's called Jin, right? And it is a type of bomber thing. It's definitely another of the sorcerers. It also has a beautiful little fire plume going on here. So we're just gonna see where it goes. Oh, it's going high up in the air. Not a chance this thing is getting hit by anything, right? We're going pretty high. What's our altitude? I'm not sure if we see that. 650. All right. All right. And there it is. Oh. There we can see missiles popping down here. They have magnets. All right. With... do they have thumper heads, or do they have... I'm not sure actually. Or if it's heat heads. Very interesting. I don't see any heat damage, but I guess we're gonna slow down time for the next blast. It's literally just sitting up there and shooting down them. Seems to be dealing some pretty efficient damage. Okay. They seem to be explosive, right? Somehow they seem to not deal a lot of damage though. That's why I thought there were maybe heat ones. Interesting. So they seem to be not guided above... whoops. They're going with the back towards the targets first there too. It's a very interesting choice. And it is slowly eating away at the health indeed. It's definitely a bomber. That's for sure. Hopping in there, bam. But it seems it has some problem getting through the armor here too. Like, the claymore is damaged, yes. It's damaged by 7%. This is true. But I haven't seen much fatal damage dealt to it, have we? It doesn't, of course, see the target, so it can't do much. And it is having problem with its flotation, that's true. But generally on the hull and such, it's pretty unscathed. I mean, it has received damage, yes. It's just, I do feel that Sean Reed's 4th submission were able to deal a little bit more punch. Because even though this is a bit damaged and stuff, it also feels like the claymore is pretty much battle ready. And you can see they pop in there. And this is like the what volley? A lot of volleys have popped in here, and the bottom is not really hurt yet. So we're gonna move on and restart this battle, and we're gonna see if we get any different results. Here you can see, by the way, it's just chilling here in the water. It's pretty funny. Claymore gets spawned. And it just goes up in the air like that. Trying to reach a nice position. Man, these are a lot of particles. It's like producing a tail, a big tail in a particle tail. And there the friends pop down. Now, oh, there it is. I wonder if they were a little bit too far away to reach. Yeah, they were. Now these drops pop in here. Whoa, magnets. Ooh. Some pretty good hits there, I believe. No? Well, I do think it seems that it is its weaponry capabilities, and this is the way it deals damage, and I think I have enough material to assess where on the scale this will be. I do like that a lot of the shells come in underneath, but I do suspect that perhaps having the magnet in the front so that they would face the front and having them be shaped charges could have possibly dealt more damage. In any case, we are going to move on to the next submission, which is Sean Reed's last submission, the third one. And it's the Aspirant Helicopter, this beautiful little drone thing. Army of GMODISM helicopter going on right there. It even has shields and it sits here in standby. Now I would say that it's probably good to have shields being disabled when it's standby. Oh, interesting. Well, in any case, I don't know if it goes into patrol mode now. Now we spawned an enemy, so we're gonna see what happens here. I think we're having some evasive maneuvers here, going up and down. Ooh, look at that. Oh, delayed. Oh, this bomb is so beautiful. Look at that. Bam. That dealt some damage. That's some proper damage. I do think this helicopter has very beautiful bombs going on for it. Or missiles, I mean. Laser guided ones. It's probably also very hard to hit. Now this missile just went off into the distance. And this one hits. Well, it's definitely dealing damage, shooing away on it, and this one relies on dealing surface damage mostly. It does feel like the evasive maneuvers makes it so that the laser have a problem hitting, which sometimes causes the missiles to completely miss the mark, which does decrease its final combat performance abilities. The defensive maneuvers seem to possibly make it a bit harder for the what is it called? Shard gun. The shard gun sniper to hit a target, but the missiles that do pop in tend to deal some proper damage. I do think the shard gun hits from time to time, that's true. I think this is the case with the biplane. It would have an easier time if the target was a tiny bit larger. Now this doesn't have fuel, does it? More missiles popping in there. And they are indeed dealing good damage to the surface of the ship here. We can see that some of the crams here are indeed taken out. So it's definitely able to deal damage, but it does so in a slow... Yeah, for this particular setup, I think it's difficult with these evasive maneuvers, as we do rely on a stable flight to be able to provide a target for the missiles. Also, the shard gun does miss a lot of the time because of those evasive maneuvers. We're gonna restart this battle and see if we get any different results. Here we have it again. I think it seems to be shilling here a little bit. Or does it go into patrol mode? Patrol. I think it just shills. No, it decided to go into patrol mode. It seems to be floating a little bit here, like up and down, not spending too much resources. If you didn't know that, it's easier to fly at lower levels with the propellers in from the depth, just like real life. And it's easier to gain lift too with the wings, I believe. Something with the air thickness is calculated, I believe. Okay. Well, the crams don't have a chance of hitting this. Missiles popping in there. The missiles, I do have to say, look absolutely stunning when they pop down and drop down here. The model for these missiles are very beautiful. Look at this thing. It's a little artwork. Bam. That's a very successful hit. Well, we can see it's definitely shooting up the Claymore. We do know that it will be able to take it out, dealing some damage. I do think I do know how fast and how good it deals the damage, so I have enough to write down the points for the aspirant. Very nice indeed. We will now be moving on to the next ship. I mean, not ship. It's a bomber. And if you don't know how to join the army of GMODISM, go to our Discord, go into bot interaction channel, search, find a bot assignment, self-role assignment thing, and assign yourself the role Matros 3rd class, and then you'll get enlisted in the army of GMODISM. Isn't that quite nice? Or you can of course also become a commissioned officers, and you get access to the AOG channel too. And for some stuff like this challenge, we do have the requirement of being a member in the army of GMODISM to be able to send in it like bombers for this challenge, for example, because it's about finding our new bomber that we will be using in the Nether campaign. We're going to use the winner of this will absolutely be used in the playthrough, since my bombers are outdated. They're really sad. One is called Vertrika, and it is on Steam Workshop, but it's an old cram bomber. It's not good anymore. But in any case, that's how it is. So if you don't know, you can just self-assign yourself Matros 3rd class, and you're in the army of GMODISM. So let's get back to testing, and it's gonna be shotgun submission now. Shotgun's first submission, to be exact. So it's pretty quick like this. It's not standing by, it's flying around like this and being, yeah, well, just having a good time flying around here, looking very splendid with these VTOL-like design. Very modern indeed. We're of course going to send in the Claymore here. And we're gonna see what happens. So we got some missiles here. Oh, 4 fins! Man, this thing is maneuverable, okay. I would have been very shocked if it was to miss. And it has frag going on there, so it deals some damage. Not getting hit there. Diving in there. Now I locked onto the wrong thing. Excuse me. That thing missed, it seemed like. We do have magnetized bombs. And they are, no, yes. They're just dropping them all the time, I believe. No? Okay, I think they have magnet activation. They are magnets. They're very slow magnets, however, so I think they'll deal damage to some bigger targets, but not the Claymore. It seems to miss too often. Dropping down 2 missiles there. Oh, it received some damage here. I don't know if it inflicted it itself. We're going to assume it got damaged, so we're going to just repair that a little bit quickly. Here we can see on the sides. Oh no. I realized we need to rerun this test because I was accidentally sitting in the cockpit and messing things up. Look at that, it has a cockpit. It's pretty cool. A little canopy thing there. So yeah, ignore the previous results. We will now be getting back, and I will make sure to not use, try to use any of the weapons. There we go, we're machine gunning right away there. Those hit greatly. We'll need to quickly do a field repair. Are you killing me? There we go. We're machine gunning here too. These are dropping down. might be going in close. Oh, and there we have a little radar tracker. Ain't that very cute? And these are getting in real close. Look at that. Damage is being dealt. Now I'm wondering if I need to stay and watch this thing here, see if we're accidentally dealing damage to ourselves, or if it's just getting hit from time to time. Interesting. We're of course not really measuring if it is damaged by the enemy, but if it damages itself, we'll need to take note of that. And that's the reason why we haven't turned on God mode for them, because I want to see if they shoot themselves. It's a pretty common issue from the depth crafts, so that's absolutely something that has to be tested. Very sleek maneuvers here. This thing is pretty quick. 129 meters per second. It's very cool. And I do think we're providing some decent damage. The claymore is dropped down by 10%. Alright. We have a lot of heavy armor on the base here too, it seems. Here we go. These are dropping down here, getting activated, and ooh, yes. That's dealing some pretty nice damage. Again, I do think we have a design that would deal better results against the larger, softer target. But thanks to the frag, we're still able to deal pretty decent damage against the hull of this thing here. We're going to restart this battle, and we're going to see if we get any different results, or if we do understand its way and capability of dealing damage to this particular target here. Before I confuse anyone, I just realized that shotgun has this is shotgun's only submission. I just, when I glanced at my paper, Scuvimation and shotgun's names looked almost the same. But that's of course not the case. So this is the dart, if I didn't say that. The dart. Shotgun's dart. Whoops. There we go. And we have some pretty decent balloons here to help us get out of the water if we ever crash here. Now I saw them working a little bit more before, so let's see here. Oh no, well that's just unlucky. Come on. I think we need to help it here because the balloons don't activate if we, you know. Unfair. Alright. Dropping down these. Missiles popping in here. Alright. Well, I do think I've collected enough materials to know how much the dart is able to deal damage. So that's really nice. We are definitely dealing damage towards the target. We have multiple ways of dealing damage, and we don't miss a lot of the time. So really nice. We're now going to move on to not shotgun, but Scuvimation's first submission. This is the Trival. That's not the Narval, but the Trival, because it has 3 horns. And I do believe it's a diff gunner. Looks very... We got some EMP protected parts there, that's really nice. Some really beautifully designed missiles. And well, I do believe that we're gonna deal some damage here. So let's spawn the Claymore and check our results. Look at those beautiful missiles fly. These are definitely one of our lineup's most beautiful missiles. Look at those. And the damage they dealt was really lackluster. Maybe it was it perhaps shaped charges? Because the damage they dealt to the surface was laughable at best. Okay, we're gonna catch that again. Oh my god, was that a cram? Wow, what is the trival packing, I wonder? Oh yes, it's a cram. It is a cram bomb. That's very cool. We got diff guns too. Cram bombs. Machine guns. We have an array of weapons on this thing. The trival delivers a lot of different weapons. Seems that we fire here. So we are going to slow down time to the slowest. And just see what happens here. What? No, that is explosive and frag. Interesting. They just seem to be a little bit weak. Now, the cram bomb seems to have a little bit hard hitting targets. Because it's pretty small, I do believe that, like a lot of the bombers, it would have an easier time if it was a larger target. There we get a really good hit with a bomb. Alright. It feels like it's pretty slow, 60 meters per second. But it's also really large, so it feels like that a lot easier then. Did those deal good damage, perhaps? Interesting. We're gonna see those missiles that come from the top. When we first saw them come in there, they seem to not deal a whole lot of damage. Oh, this must be a really good hit. Well, we're definitely shedding some parts here. Well, it keeps coming in and harassing the target. Yes, indeed. I do believe that the Claymore is down to 73%. So it's definitely eating away here. Alright, popping in there. Missiles pops in. They deal some damage, but the top VLMs don't just they don't deal a lot. The cram does, however, pack some punch. I think we are going to restart this battle and see if we get any different results, just so we can gauge it properly. Round 2. The missiles are popping in here, looking splendid. Not packing an enormous punch. Well, they did some decent damage to the wheel, however. Look like they did better damage this time. We even have some weapon computers and stuff going on there. Oh. Wow. No? I almost thought it was AI dead. No, it's still alive. Those guns seems to be doing some good damage too. Cram bomb is missing. The machine gun's providing some steady damage at least. Goes in for another attack. It's hard to find the right balance between how far it will go away and not, because if it goes further away, it will have more time to aim and shoot its guns, which is of course very valuable. But if it goes too far away, it will deal valuable time dealing damage and have more time being taken out by countermeasures and stuff. Here we go. Well, it does deal decent damage. I do think the Trival would be a very competent bomber in a larger group. I think a group of them will deal very good multiple type damage, providing they don't collide. That should be able to take out larger targets well, especially with that cram bomb, which does pack a punch but miss a lot at a time. So with that said, I do think that we are able to judge the Trival's combat performance here. We're gonna write that down here. And that will be all for this particular episode, I believe. It was really cool seeing some more of the bombers in action against our enemies, the Onyx Watch Claymore. To see it gotten some torn up a little bit there, so we do understand what type of bombers we have in our arsenal, to be able to see which one will be dealing the best type of damage to multiple targets. This is of course only sea targets. We are going to test out many different types of targets, submarine, land targets, and we're gonna check some other metrics like efficiency and stuff like that. In any case, this is your Lord High Admiral GMODIST in the army of GMODIST. I do hope you have enjoyed watching this testing session for the bomber submissions. Next episode, we will try the last batch of your submissions that are up for consideration to get permanently written in the second chapter Frontier Fleet that we will conquer the Nether with. As you obviously can hear, I cannot speak today, so with that said, I will only say dismissed. See you next time. It's your Lord High Admiral GMODIST from the army of GMODIST. I hope you have enlisted. If you haven't, do it now. Also, you can join the commissioned officer if you wanna support the channel each month. Huge thanks to all of you cadets, and special thanks to Admiral Super Dave, Captain Y, Commander Jacob, Lieutenants Asteria, C2, Cravey, Parbag, Retaileras, and Vincent Veritas. Your monthly help helps me out a lot. In any case, we will now be moving back to the bomber challenges. We're gonna test the last batch of the bombers against the Onyx Watch Claymore that absolutely needs to be destroyed for us to be able to conquer the Nether. We obviously need a competent bomber, which is the entire reason behind this challenge. So let's go. We are here at one of my personal aesthetical favorites. This is Scoobymation's second submission, the Pigeon. Look at the beauty, it's very aesthetic. We can walk around in the hull, there is nowhere to sit, but there are cool pillars for the superstructure. I don't know how much punch it packs, but it's definitely a... like this I just love the aesthetics of this thing. It feels like I could have designed this myself. If I'm going to be so bold. I'm not sure it would look this nice and in this way, but it's super cool and it's inspiring. I just like it. It's barely a bomber, since it's more of an airship. but an airship can be a bomber too, of course. And we're gonna put it to the test. We're here again with the bomber challenge. It's sitting here at some kind of standby. We have a targeting turret and all that stuff. Very cool. So we're gonna get and jump in with an Onyx Watch thing. There we go. The Onyx Watch Claymore is popping in air. I almost expected these pods to turn forwards. If they did, it would go a lot faster. Is it just me, or is this thing gonna get absolutely annihilated by the crams? No? We're unscathed? That is quite amazing. I kind of just want to stand on this thing while we have some action. Oh, look at that. That is some damage. That is a bit scary. We're going in for another round. The crams reliably miss it. I did not expect that. Look at that. If you want to know, by the way, how I control my camera, you should definitely take a look at my camera control video. This thing needs to be repaired. Thank you. I have a little tutorial about camera control, so that you can do nice screenshots, move around your camera, not get lost, lock onto targets and all that stuff. Alright, so the crams tend to miss here. I think the target might be a little bit small.